Hi people, let's go over the answers to Writing For Loops worksheet number 2. Do note in bold there that you have to trace the loops and circle the final values for the variables in exercises 1 and 2. Okay, when writing a for loop, it's easy. You just start with the word for, and it's traditional to use the variable j as the loop variable. It even says on this worksheet that you should be using j. And j always has to go from something to something. So right away, you get partial credit just for knowing that that has to be the first line. We'll fill in the numbers here later. And all loops need the word next at the end of the loop, so please write the word next down there, leaving room for the body of the loop, which we have to figure out. Okay, so what is this loop supposed to do? Is it supposed to animate a picture box? No. Is it supposed to annoy the user by printing a bunch of message boxes? No. It's supposed to add up the sum of some numbers. The numbers 1 to 4. Well, anytime that you need to add up the sum of something, I like to use the fancy plus equal symbol. And I need a variable into which I'm going to store that final answer, the sum. Well, this exercise tells me what variable to use, sum. In life, sometimes people aren't around like teachers to tell you what variables to use, so you could use any variable name, like total, result. Anyway, the word sum we assume is a variable in this program. And what are we adding up? We're adding up the numbers 1 to 4. Well, let's just put a 1 here and a 4 there, because that means j is going to be stepping from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. And to take advantage of this fact, let's just put the variable name j there. Do not put the number 1 there, like you've seen on some previous worksheets. If you put the number 1 in that spot, this program would be adding up 1 plus 1 plus 1, which could be something that you wanted to do, but that's not what's being called for in this exercise. We want to add up the numbers 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. And because of j's unique role in this piece of code, j, we know, will be stepping from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. So let's just conveniently put the letter j here, and now let's trace the program. Let's trace the program to make sure that this program adds up the value 10. Well, let's trace it. Starting j at 1, and assuming that sum starts at 0, which you're allowed to assume, this line of code sum plus equals j causes j, which is currently 1, to be added into sum. So let's cross the 0 out and add a 1 to it. We hit the word next, which tells us to loop back up to the top. And because this code does not have any step 2 or step 3 written in here, we assume that the step is 1. In other words, j is going to go up to 1. Go up by 1 to the total of 2 now. So j is currently 2. We just stepped 1. And we execute the body line of code again. J is added into sum. It works from right to left, like I said before. So j is currently 2. So it gets added into sum. So let's add that 2 there to the 1 to get a grand total of 3 so far. We hit the word next. We loop back up to the top. We step j up to 3. We execute sum plus equals j again. But now j is 3. So 3 added into sum makes a growing total of 6. The word next takes us to the top. J steps up to 4. And now 4 is added into sum from right to left, making the grand total of sum 10. We loop back up to the top. We still step j up to 5. And then the computer realizes that j is over the upper boundary, so it does not do anything else. It does not execute this sum statement anymore. It's done. The loop has terminated. So circling our final answers the way Mr. Minnick likes it on a worksheet so he can grade it easily. 10 is the final value of sum. We don't really care about j, but just for the record, it's at 5. Sum is what we worked hard to get. We wanted to add up the numbers 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, and that grand total 10 is indeed the sum, so that's a job well done. Okay, I leave number 2 to do as an exercise for you all. But do notice that you're only adding up the odd numbers. I think, hint, there's going to be a step 2 involved. Okay, number 3. We're only adding up the multiples of 5. Well, that just means we're probably going to have a step 5 here. Again, a for loop always begins with the word for. We use J here because that's common. And we think, we want to go from 10 to 25 here. So you should have a 10 and a 25 there. And because we only want to add up the multiples of 5, oh, we're not even adding up anything here. I didn't even read it closely. Instead of adding something up, we want these numbers to be displayed in a message box. So by stepping 5, we are sure to only hit the multiples of 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. But instead of sum plus equals j, we simply put messagebox.show five. No, not 5. J. And then we finish off with the word next. Think about it. As this code executes, when J is 10, the 10 will be displayed in the message box. But then when J bumps up to 15, a 15 will be displayed in the message box, and so on. This code will do what we're being instructed to do. It will display the numbers 10, 15, 20, and 25, which are the multiples of 5 that happen to lie on the number line between 10 and 25. There's no sum plus equals or anything like that. Finally, number 4, I'm going to let you do that as an exercise. I believe we've already done that on a previous worksheet or maybe in the program that you're doing for this unit. But since you are moving down the form, I think it's going to be a plus equals that you use somewhere, because the y-axis goes from 0 to 300, and therefore going down the form means you're going up the y-axis. So you want to add to a picture box. And instead of pictureBox.pickPlayer.left, I think you're going to have PickPlayer.top to be able to move it up and down vertically.